Hello, everyone. Andy Jacob here with the DotCom Magazine Entrepreneur Spotlight Series. I have a great show today. You know, so many people reach out to me and they say, hey, we love it when you bring worldwide leading experts on the show with corporate experience in innovation and startup development. So, of course, we love entrepreneurs that have this experience in corporate innovation, startup development, venture capital, connecting organizations with other organizations. And I've been able to bring on a worldwide leader in this space today. I'm so honored to have him on the show. He is the CEO of FCJ Venture Builder. And let me tell you, he goes by one name. Everybody knows him throughout the world. Everybody knows him in the community of global experts with corporate innovation. His name is Justino. So Justino, welcome to the show today.
Thank you, Jake. I'm glad to be here.
I am so happy to have you here, Justino. You work with so many companies. I mean, you have so much experience, 20, 30 years of experience with what you do. We're going to get into it all. I mean, you've got the corporate venture summit coming up online, and you do these corporate venture summits. They're so interesting. But let's get started by talking about FCJ Venture Builders. Let's pull the lens back to 30,000 feet, Justino, and tell us what the company is all about.
FCJ Venture Builders is launched in 2013. We believe it will help many startups. Now it's many startups is closed very fast. So in 2013, with my friends, my family, we think, why not create one company? It's helping with startups. It's our purpose. Helping the startups is a developer, it's increase, it's a make a business. Our company is focused on in the purpose. I think it's helping many. Today we have 100 startups with our portfolio. It's many people, 100 entrepreneurs together.
I love it, of course, Justino. And since 2003, your company FCJ has evaluated over 2,000 startups, and you really identified and matched hundreds of these companies with corporate partners that are in need of innovation. So this is so interesting. So what does it look like? How does it sort of all come together, Justino, when a startup founder reaches out to you at FCJ Venture Builders? How does that conversation begin? What are they looking for from your company?
Normally, the startup need to mentor, it's help, maybe it's many things. Let me see. It's when you create a startup, one thing is very important too. It's a bill. It's a bill. I think it's our companies help the company. Governance is a liability. It's a networking. It's a mentor. It's we company. It's put on the startups. It's many different things. It's a focus on it's a entrepreneur. Just focus on innovation. After that, the back office our companies put on. I think it's a best. It's the most important bill. It's just money. It's a make money. We normally entrepreneurs don't have much experience. Our company, our network, put this in the startups.
I love it. Yeah, Justino, that makes all the sense in the world. You know, we have these startups and they have some maybe great technology, or they have a great idea, and they have something that they've started that seems to start resonating with the public, and they maybe don't have the right sort of experience. They don't have the ability to really develop a full organization. They're great at the beginning, but then they don't have the ability to sort of take it to the market in a powerful way. And that's why you allow them to come to you at FCJ, and you partner them with companies that can help them sort of gain steam and become a better company, right?
All right. It's just money. A good idea. It's not software. It's you need more. It's need experience, knowledge. It you have it normally university academy. It's not knowledge about this process, lean startup, this process. I think is very important. So you believe 90% in startups close in the first year. It's absolutely. I think we reduce substantially. It's a close. It's the problem.
Yeah, Justino, that makes all the sense in the world. And like you said, 90% of startups, I mean, they go out of business. And it might not be because they don't have a great offering. It might not be because they don't have a good technology. A lot of times the reason they go out of business is because they don't have the experience as an entrepreneur. They don't have the experience as a business person, or they don't understand how to connect themselves with a right corporate partner, if you will, to help sort of solidify their team. And of course, you at FCJ, you're known for this matchmaking, if you will, to take these entrepreneurs, match them with the right company so that they don't go out of business and they can do amazing things with their company. So let's talk about it a little bit, Justino, because I know that you really focus on entrepreneurs and helping them get to where they want to go. How do you have the conversation with a startup entrepreneur? What's their big problem? Is their big problem that they don't know how to get to the next level, and that's why they reach out to FCJ because they need somebody to mentor them and to help them? What's the big problem of the startups that reach out to FCJ?
I think it's the big problem is a team. It's a team. The problem with team. It's a big problem, not money. Money is a problem normally, but it's not money. It's a problem. Maybe don't have a government. How how we to go to market? I think is exist many entrepreneurs, good entrepreneurs, but don't know to sell. Oh, how sell my business? I think it's the big challenge. Whatever startups in all the world is sell your product. What the channel? What's the best channel? What the team? What the governments? What the liability needs to improve? I think is a go to market sell. It's a make money to build. I think it's a principle. You normally entrepreneur want to investor. I like investor. But money from investor is very important. But you need to focus on customer in big markets. I think it shows one pain you resolve the best others you compare. I think it's a big challenge, a big problem we resolve.
Yeah, Justino, that really resonates for me and for the entrepreneurs watching the show. Rewind what Justino just said. It's very interesting. On one hand, he talks about the team. And of course, at the DotCom Magazine Entrepreneur Spotlight Series, we talk to entrepreneurs throughout the world. And one important thing is the team. You know, back in the day, if you were a solo entrepreneur and you were a one-man or one-woman show, you know, you could walk in sometimes to a angel, fund or a venture capitalist fund and get funded for your startup. But in today's world, everybody wants to know what your team looks like. They want to know what type of team you have, what type of background and experience they have. And that's very important. And of course, Justino with FCJ, they can help you develop your team, maybe by bringing other teammates on, other partners on, other organizations in, and match you up so that your team becomes even stronger. And Justino also mentioned something very important, and really the single most important thing. He talks about your customers. It's so important to understand the right channels and the way in which you get to your customers and the way in which you acknowledge your customers and the way in which you make your customers part of your corporate culture, if you will. And that's another thing that Justino and FCJ has an expertise in, because you may have the greatest technology in the world. you may have the greatest company in the world, but if you're not paying attention to your customers, Justino, you're going to go nowhere fast, right? You really need to pay attention to your customers.
Absolutely, it's absolutely. So one doing we have our after the 2018 our focus on in company. After the pandemic, many thousand million companies need to innovation. Absolutely. I think this is very important. The company in think about the future is very important to innovate. So after the 2018, we launched the product. We help the company work together, startup, because we have a mindset startups. It's a base for us. So after the 2013, we launched this model, license model. Okay, it's helping but not just match companies, match startups. It development because it's a different mindset. The big company, the startups, is a very different. It's a very different mindset. Our company helping big companies, startups work together, but not the consult. We are hands-on. We are doing together. Our model is very important. This I think is in futures. Every company needs to innovation, digital transformation. Impossible to think in future if not, the company don't have innovation.
I love it, Justino. It's all about innovation. And of course, the bigger companies, they need the smaller companies to help so that their bigger company can grow. And the smaller companies, startup companies need innovation, expertise, the right people, the right process from the bigger company. So this is a wonderful way to match smaller companies with bigger companies, startup companies with bigger companies, so that they can get the complete picture that's necessary in today's world to be able to compete. And of course, you do such an amazing job at that through FCJ. It's really, really incredible. Now, Justino, some of the people watching the show today, they might be wondering what part of the world you're from. So why don't you tell our viewers where you're from and where your home base is right now?
I'm from Brazil. I live in Belo Horizonte, Minas Gerais, state Minas Gerais. So I'm so sorry about my English. I speak Spanish very well, but English my challenge. Now we initiated the international business. I studied very well. Now we started the company in Europe, United States. We started the new business in the United States. So Brazil, okay. Have you been in Brazil?
I have not been there yet, but now that I know you, my wife and I will be visiting. I hope you have a spare room for us to come down and visit with you. Now, Justino, I know that you've traveled all over the world, and your company certainly has a worldwide footprint. You know, everybody thinks about FCJ as a true leader, as a true venture builder. You've met so many companies together. Everybody talks about the great job and the massive amount of sort of added value that your company has brought to so many companies. When we look throughout the world, what country right now, Justino, do you say to yourself, wow, that's a country that really, has some great startup entrepreneurs, and this is an area of the world that, we need to start investing in to take a look at what those startup people are doing in that country?
When you think in the country, nowadays many countries have a difference, very different. You think Europe, England is a very entrepreneur, many process, the government is focused on entrepreneur, but I think United States is a bigger challenge because it's a big country, big competitors, big entrepreneurs, big venture capital. So we intend now we start the Lisbon, our company Europe. We have two startups in England, from Italy, Rush. We have one startup. The Rush is, I think, is when you think entrepreneur on the world, wide world, it's a big difference. I think it's very opportunities, many countries difference. So in Brazil, it's maybe a good opportunity, but you market, you compare United States, Europe, is small if you compare United States. So we intend to offer corporate venture build wide world. I think is possible.
It's so interesting. I mean, you have a worldwide footprint. You have startups all around the world. It's so interesting. You know, the world has become flat through technology and Zoom calls and regular calls. And of course, now that we're flying again, you know, we're flying all over the world to talk to interesting companies. Let's talk about the best type of startup to reach out to you at FCJ. Is there one space or one type of startup that you work with the best right now, Justino?
Our agnostic about the specific startups. We have many different segments. We have agricultures, we have health techs, edge techs, ESG. We launched the company ESG. We have 25 venture builders, different venture builders. So many different segments per industry. But we believe it's startups have one team very strong, very focused. In resolve, have is think big. Big. I think is in Brazil. It's normal. It's not think about overseas, abroad, Brazil, just Brazil. But it's very important. Team purpose. It focuses on the build, the goal mark. I think. In many our 25 venture build, different venture build, we have different agricultures, health techs is a big fintechs, blockchain, it's a different kind of. But the team, I think, is a man. The CEO is a difference. I need to CEO is the big guy.
Interesting, Justino. Let's bounce into something that's very fascinating that you do. You've got this thing called the Corporate Venture Summit, and it's an online summit that you bring people together. I found it very fascinating. Maybe you could touch on what you do at this online event and how it can help startups and companies engage with FCJ.
Yes, in the next November, 26th November, we doing a summit, corporate event summit. Every year in the last 8 years, we have one similar event, but it's small, it's medium, begin now, it's big. The company in these events is a transmission from São Paulo. It's a beautiful place. It's beautiful speakers. Many CEOs of our company speak. It's a different market, ESG, health techs. It's a very interesting. 9 hours is focused on innovation, about different things, different subjects, different people. We transmit in English, in Portuguese, truly, but the pandemic is not allow many people together nowadays. It's possible, but it's online. It's good.
It's a great way to get people together. 9 hours. You're talking about innovation. Justino, I kind of call you the king of innovation. I mean, you're very humble, but yet FCJ is all over the world and you run a really great organization. So what I'd like to do now, let's talk about entrepreneurship, okay? Because we have younger entrepreneurs watching the show. Maybe they're having a tough time. maybe they're having a challenge, maybe they're having they're hitting a brick wall, Justino. So what kind of advice can you give to the younger entrepreneurs watching the show about what it takes as an entrepreneur to get through those tough times?
So I want to think four steps, four things I think is very important. The first, you have a purpose. Creating the startups, not just money. Money is very important. It's absolutely important. But create your startups. It focuses on purpose. It's wake up every day. It's want to change the world. The first. Second, we chose the team. It's a very important. Look for co-founder, think similar for you. It's a very, very important. So a complement. It's a different, but it's a complement. Three, resilience, because it's not easy. It's not easy, entrepreneur. You need resilience. In four, I think you need customer to talk about your customer. It's not set your share, but you need to go out. It shows the big market, not the little pen. Shows a big market. So review. The first, purpose, not just money. Second, good team. Good team. It's a equipment. Good founders. Yes. Three is a very resilience you need, because it's not easy. So you have a deal break every day. You need people to change your mindset. You need resilience and bring the wall every day. So the three, customer chose the big market. You need to sell. But it's not easy. It's a focus is needed to resilience. I think it's a very important.
I love it, Justino. You just gave what I call, and everybody knows on the show, a mini Harvard MBA to the people watching the show. It's so interesting that you bring up those 4 points that are so interesting for not only startup entrepreneurs, but more mature entrepreneurs as well. Everybody from a startup founder to a CEO or a chairman of the board of an Inc. 500 company or a Fortune 100 company. You talk about purpose. You talk about the team. You talk about having that resiliency, which is so important for startup entrepreneurs. And then, of course, the big thing that you talk about all the time that you're known for is that customer focus. You have to be focused on the customer. And of course, for the companies that reach out to Justino at FCJ, he's going to be asking you about those things. He's going to say, tell me about your purpose. Tell me about your world-class team. Why is this the right team for world domination? Tell me about your resiliency. Tell me about your background and experience, and tell me about some of the things that you've done in your life that you've shown this resiliency for. And then, of course, tell me why the customer is the most important thing to your business, and how do you show that to your customers? And of course, those questions you better be ready to answer when you get in front of Justino and his team at FCJ, because those are the things that really resonate for Justino. And if he's going to match you with another company, he wants to make sure that you're the right type of company to match with the immense, Rolodex of companies that he has at his disposal to sort of connect with startup companies. So Justino, I wanted to thank you so much for coming on the show today. I mean, this has been so fascinating and so interesting. You're from Brazil. I've got a friend in Brazil now. I'll be coming down with my wife and staying with you. We'll go out to dinner and we'll talk about, purpose, team, resiliency, and of course, customer-focused entrepreneurship. I want to thank you so much for coming on the show, Justino. You've got such a great team at FCJ. I've gotten to know them along the way, and they're really on it, and they're very responsive. And this is one of the reasons why, your company is so successful and has a worldwide imprint in the space. So thank you so much, Justino, for coming on the show today.
Thank you, Jake. I hope you help many entrepreneurs in the world. See you. Thank you so much.